Hello, I'm meteorologist Danielle Moss with a weather update for you. Man, today was a very busy weather day. Overall, we had strong, severe thunderstorms rolling through, and now the National Weather Service confirming that there was a tornado in Henry County as well. Here's a look at our satellite and radar right now. It is quiet, it is calm, it is much different from what we were looking at earlier today. This is literally the calm after the storm, and we are starting to see a little bit of relief here all across the state, not just here in Metro Atlanta. It has definitely been a very busy weather day, and now people are starting to have a little bit of a breath of relief. So here's a look at our graphics, our satellite and radar. What are we looking at right now? As of right now, we are starting to see some light rainfall. This is what happens sometimes after these storms move through the area. There is a risk of light rainfall, that lingering rain that could continue to move throughout Georgia overnight, but it's just very light. Some of it might not even be making it to the ground. And as we put a pause to it, it's really just north of the 285 perimeter into North Georgia this evening. Here in Metro Atlanta, we are mostly dry and not even really seeing much cloud cover tonight. But there was a lot of storm damage in the last 24 hours. This is a look at our storm reports. Most of it high wind damage. That's what all these icons are. And across the southeast and even stretching past Louisville. That's how much storm damage we have seen. Here is a look at our tornado survey. So the National Weather Service already sent 2 survey teams out and about to survey to see what happened today. There was damage reported in multiple places, and they are surveying in Henry County as well as in Newnan. So there was a confirmed EF1 tornado in Henry County near Brannan Road. As of right now, they are still collecting that data. They're going to update us a little bit later on tonight, and we'll make sure that you have that latest information. But for now, that's what we have, an EF1 tornado confirmed in Henry County near Brannan Road. That second crew is in Newnan, and they will be releasing those results tomorrow. So definitely anticipate hearing an update for what happened in Newnan as well. Here's a look at our 24-hour rainfall. Sometimes this graphic is a little bit slow, but you can see we collected less than half of an inch here in Metro Atlanta in the last 24 hours. But here's the deal. We collected all that rainfall in a very little amount of time, so that ground is very saturated. It needed that rainfall. Remember, last week we were talking about the dry and wet conditions. Hey, I did a time lapse today. I think this is a pretty cool time lapse from what happened today. You can see it was a very cloudy morning to start off with as we were waiting for the rain. We were in anticipation. When is the rain going to come? We know it's on the way. And when that rain arrives, you can see how it just blasts this camera at Truist Park today. You can see they put the tarp out on the field right in time before that heavy rainfall came through. It shook the camera even, and then we started to see some clearing skies right before sunset. This is a live look into Rome tonight. It is a little bit windy in some places. Most of us, it's calm. Temperature wise, we're still in pretty good shape. In fact, it's 67 degrees here in Metro Atlanta, 64 in Gainesville, and 63 degrees in Carrollton. However, the temperature change is coming. We're around 3 degrees cooler than what we were this time yesterday, but you can see this blue back off to the west. That is going to be slowly but surely coming our way for your Tuesday. Here's a look at what you can expect for Tuesday. These light spotty showers, they will start to move out of here by the time we get into your late Monday night. So by the time we get to midnight, you don't have to worry about any rainfall at all. And in fact, Tuesday, we're going to see plenty of sunshine, some very light cloud cover throughout the day for your Tuesday, and it's going to be a pretty decent day. Here's what we're looking forward to. Now that the rain is over, we are looking at the potential for record-breaking temperatures multiple days this week. So this is going to be a whole different weather story for us. From Thursday through Saturday, our temperatures will be climbing into the upper 80s, not just 81 or 82 degrees. So we're talking about 88 degrees for not just 1, but maybe even 2 days as we head into the end of the week. You want to make sure that you hydrate before the heat. Drink plenty of water. If you have an outdoor job, make sure you take breaks. This is that time of the year. Once again, we're getting ready to get into that hot part of spring. Here's looking at your planner for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a beautiful day. Temperature's a little bit chilly to start off. 7 a.m., 47 degrees, back into the 50s as we head into the morning hours, and then around 72 to 76 degrees as we head into the evening. That's not too bad of a spring day here in Georgia. Here's a look at those potential for record-breaking temperatures. 88 degrees for your Thursday, and that record is 87. Friday is probably our best chance of beating that record, because Thursday we have a potential for maybe a 10% chance of rain, but Friday, 89 degrees is our forecasted high, and our record is 85. So we have a really good chance to tie or break some records, not just one day, but Thursday, Friday, and Saturday for us this week. Rain chances are at a minimum. They're not at a 0 per se, but there's a very light chance for some spotty showers. In fact, Wednesday, there's a 20% chance for rain and maybe a very light chance as we head into the end of this week and headed into the weekend. So what are we looking forward to? This is a look into our Wednesday when we talk about a 20% chance of rain. 9:30 a.m., maybe some spotty showers, most of us staying dry. That kind of just pushes up to the north. You can see those wind gradients with those arrows where that wind is pushing all of that moisture upwards. And then Wednesday evening around 7:30, we do have a chance for maybe some spotty showers, maybe a brief downpour. But once again, most of us should be staying dry for your Wednesday. So don't cancel any outdoor plans just yet for your midweek. Let's take a look at our long range future cast and what can we expect. Tuesday, once again, dry, a beautiful day for your Tuesday into the 70s. It's going to be a great day to really get outside and enjoy yourself. And in fact, when we look at our pollen numbers, to talk about that in a second, those numbers are going to be down lower, but you just remember that is going to be based off of today's information. So here is a look at our long range future cast. You can see on Wednesday there is a chance for some spotty showers into the evening hours, and then maybe again late on Thursday. But when we talk about late on Thursday, that's going to be that chance for us to get into the upper 80s for our temperatures. Then on Friday, same story, maybe a very light chance for rain on your Friday into North Georgia. And then as we head into the weekend, you have to watch for the potential of another strong system that could be coming through. And it looks like it could dump a good amount of rainfall right now. Strong storms, not really on the table just yet, but it's something that we have to keep our eye on. Now, we have had plenty of rainfall today. More rainfall is coming, and any rain that we can get is going to help people that are suffering from allergies and seeing all this pollen. Take a look at this photo. This was sent in by Robin Weeman. This was yesterday, so before the rainfall came through. You can see the pollen in the river there. That is breathtaking almost to just think about how much pollen was collected this weekend. I mean, we literally broke records, not one day, but we came to the second highest yesterday with 11,159 was our pollen count for your Sunday. Now, this is all based on the day before. So if you're thinking, okay, Saturday you said 14,000, but I really wasn't suffering. I was suffering on Friday. That's because that is Friday's number. So when we get that information in for tomorrow, that will be the number for today. Here's a look at our pollen count though, 6,024. So it got a little bit better, but that tree pollen is just honestly the worst part of it right now. That's usually the same case all spring long. And unfortunately, we're not at the peak of pollen season just in a few more days. As we head into the first week of April, that's when we start to see pollen season really peaking out. And here's a look at your March pollen count, wrapping up the month. Today's the last day of the month with a 6,024. We started off not too bad. In fact, on the 3rd, it was 54. On the 10th, it was 27. And we just lost control of the pollen count over the last few weeks. Here's like that 7-day forecast. That rain completely done. We do have to watch for storms on Sunday. Overall, though, temperatures are mild, warm, even almost hot as we head into the end of the weekend. Thursday, Friday, and Saturday into the upper 80s. So just make sure that you are aware of that. Make sure that you are keeping up to date with the latest forecast and stay up to date with us too on Facebook. This is a great time to go ahead and join our 11 Live Weather Impacts Facebook group. That photo of that pollen is just the beginning of it. We can also see some of the photos that happened with the damage that rolled through as well. So we love to see your photos. You can send them to us on the Facebook group and make sure you have an app so that you can stay up to date with the latest forecast. But for now, our meteorologist, Danielle Moss, who will see you on air at 11 p.m.